Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. One thing that's really important for me and who I am is to focus on the value of giving and also the value of learning and growing. I was speaking to some of my mastermind groups recently about this idea of investing in ourselves. I choose to invest in myself now because I know that the future me will be grateful for it. I know that I can't become my future me without investing in my growth and investing in my learning now. I've never regretted spending a dollar that was used to either learn a new skill, get a new invaluable experience, or giving to someone who needs the money more than I do. There have been times in my life where I have given when I truly felt I had nothing to give, and the reward of doing so came back tenfold. It comes back immediately in how I feel. How I feel determines how I show up in the world, and when I show up from this place that I see as one of my best selves, I feel as though I just attract more of what I want. That's getting into the really spiritual side of things, but I truly see this act of giving when I have nothing to give and spending on learning when I have not much to spend as a way of borrowing money from my future self. I know my future self is abundant and has everything he needs, everything he's ever wanted, and is just looking to give to others. He's in a place in his life where he has so much to give, and he does give to the people around him and to people he doesn't even know, and he does it all the time. And one of the people he gives to is the present version of me. When I borrow money now and I'm collecting this debt that I have, I see it as borrowing against my future self. And a way to make this make a little bit more sense is I've asked myself the question, would I spend money now in order to learn a lesson in my past? Like pretty much I can say, if someone comes up to me and says, give me $10,000 and I will make sure that 3 years ago you will learn this invaluable lesson that'll change the course of your entire life. Would you spend that money? I would spend that money in a heartbeat. I would spend that money in a heartbeat in a way of saying, I know that lesson is going to teach my past self, and I will be able to learn and grow even more than if I decided to keep that money, keep it out of fear, keep it out of scarcity. And so if I would do that now for my past self, I choose to believe that the future version of me will do it for my present self. There's that famous quote, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Right now. I can't do anything about my past and what I did or didn't learn, right? But I do have a choice of what I do now. And what I do now is going to affect my future self. All of our present selves, all of us right now, makes judgments and maybe criticizes or praises our past selves for the decisions we've made in a completely different part of our lives, in a completely different time of our lives. We can't do anything about the trees we did or didn't plant 20 years ago. But if we want to see trees grown in our future, the next best time to plant that tree is right now. The best time to invest in yourself is right now. I find that growth and investing and learning, it compounds over time. I could learn a small lesson now, but the years that I gain, the extra years that I have with this lesson in my tool belt, it compounds, it grows. Or said a little bit differently, if there's a lesson I'm meant to learn anywhere from now until the next 20 years, would I rather learn it now or in 20 years? I'd rather learn it now, because then it's going to be 20 years of experiences that support that lesson that I've learned, that I could build on it. Because I know you've had an experience where you've learned a lesson that directly led to something else, right? Maybe you were in school and you couldn't learn how to multiply in math without knowing how to add first, right? So how long would you wait to learn to add if you really want to learn to multiply? That's how I feel now about investing in myself. Maybe simply investing the money now doesn't seem like it'll do much for me, but it will, because everything you learn after that builds on that lesson, and it grows, and it becomes something bigger than you've ever imagined. I often have a lot of ideas, And my ideas pull me in many different directions. And what I'm really learning right now in my life is that although there's 20 million directions I can go in, there's only one that'll get me to my peak the fastest. Now, I can't always be sure what that direction is, but that doesn't mean that just because I don't know that I could say yes to everything. I have to make an educated guess, and I have to say no to a lot of things. I have to say no to a lot of things now so that I could get what I want later. So all these ideas that I have, many of them are great ideas, but they're not outstanding. They're not top of their class. There's something better. There's ideas out there that'll get you at least 30, 40, 50% of the way there versus an idea that only gets you 5%, 3%, 1%. Many times, those ideas have to do with investing in myself and learning and growing. Apart from, I would say, spending 2 years in college, investing in myself in books and seminars and experiences is probably the area of my life that I've spent the most money in. But I made that investment. I did it on a payment plan, and I worked to make that money because I saw more value in learning now and growing now than trading my time for money so that I could learn later. Now, that's not always the wisest investment strategy or the wisest financial strategy, but I just say that to show that I don't regret having made that choice. There's a lot of other things I regret. And honestly, even at this point in my life, most of the regrets that I have to do with things that I didn't do, choices I didn't make, decisions I didn't jump at sooner. No, I rarely regret the things that I've done, because even the things that I've done that didn't go well was a lesson in itself, a lesson that I learned from. And you could always ask the question, how much is this lesson worth? How much money will it save me in the future to know what I know now? How much money will it generate me in the future knowing what I know now? I'm in the knowledge industry, so not only do I get to learn from my lessons, but I get to teach from my lessons too. How do we learn? We learn from experiences. We learn from doing. We learn from being. Because at the end of the day, we do a lot of things, but we're not human doings, we're human beings. It's about who we are, who we become on this long and arduous journey. You are such a special person. You are in such a special place in your life right now. I don't even think you realize what you have coming your way. You have incredible rewards coming, and before that, probably a couple challenges too. A couple challenges first, honestly. But trust me, the rewards make it worth it. You'll get physical rewards, you'll get emotional rewards, but most importantly, you'll become someone. You'll become a different version of yourself. Now, whether that version of yourself is widely known or it's just clear to you, that's up to you. You don't need fame and recognition to be proud of who you are and who you're becoming. But I will say that regardless of the path that you choose, you are special. You're special to me and you're special to yourself. At the end of the day, there's only one of you. Take the time now to learn. Take the time now to grow. And even now, take the time to teach. It's worth it. It's worth teaching. Share what you know. A lot of what I do now is because I don't know how much time I have on this planet. I don't know how much time I have in this world. So I don't want to wait until the end of my life to share all the experiences that I've had. No, instead I'd rather share along the way, and whenever my time comes, that means most of the information that I have is already out there. People can already learn from it. Even though I post these on the internet now, I know that my opinions are going to change because I've learned something that I didn't know before. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. So there's so much left for me to learn and to know. I'll get there. And each time I get there, I'll share it with you. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.